Hey everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thanks for joining us on a Monday night. I've been looking forward to this interview for a long time. She's one of my very favorite artists, and she has got a brand new album that's going to be released on Curb Records August the 14th, and you are going to hear some of those songs on our show for the very first time tonight. I'm very excited about it. The album is called An American Classic, and there could not be a better title because this lady is the definition of an American classic. She is coming up on 53 years with the Grand Ole Opry. She's got her own show on Willie's Roadhouse. She is an entertainer, singer, songwriter, and one of the best in the business. A country music legend in every sense of the word. It's a pleasure to welcome Jeannie Seely to My Kind of Country. Jeannie, how are you tonight?
Oh, well, Scott, I'm doing fantastic. I always look forward to getting the chance to visit with you. And let me say up front, thank you for always being so good to me on your shows.
Well, I wouldn't have it any other way, and my listeners would probably kick me off the air if I didn't play a lot of your songs because I get a lot of requests for your music.
Well, that's great. Well, it's wonderful that we still have the opportunity to reach out to our fans through social media and through these shows where we get to talk live because with all the shutdown, we can't go see everybody in person anymore, and every one of us loves the interaction with our fans. They just mean a lot to us.
Oh, you bet. And that's one of the things that we love about you and a lot of artists like yourself, that you stay in touch with your fans. And I know you comment a lot of my stuff on Facebook, and that's just that's really nice that you took just a minute to acknowledge that.
Well, and as frustrated as I get with technology at times, this, I don't know, maybe a lot of folks out there like me, once I learn it and it works, I love technology. But until I know how to do it, or if something happens and it doesn't work like it's supposed to, I'm just totally lost until either one of the grandkids comes around or one of the young people on my street comes around.
That's right. Thank God for kids, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that song has a whole new meaning.
Yes, it does. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, the new single that's out with you and Willie Nelson is getting a lot of action, a lot of airplay, and we've been playing it and getting great response. And tell me about this beautiful song, There's Not a Dry Eye in the House.
Well, Dallas Wayne, my buddy, I said we kept this a real Willie's Roadhouse project here with Dallas Wayne writing the song and Willie and I recording it. Dallas recorded this song several years ago, and I always loved the song, and I loved Dallas's records. So much so that I had to listen to it enough to learn the song and then not listen to it anymore to try to get my own arrangement in my mind. And talking about what we wanted to do with Willie, I chose this because I don't necessarily think duet songs have to be a part of she said, he said. I just think you need something that sets the mood. And this song just, to me, lent itself to Willie and me. And I loved what Dallas said about it when he first heard it. He said, Jeannie, I love the reading that you all got on this. He said, it just sounds like an intimate conversation between two old friends.
That's perfect.
And I love that.
I love that. That's perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. I totally agree with that, and we're certainly going to play that here in a little bit. Fabulous song. And you've got some other great guest artists on this project as well, one of them being the beautiful Miss Rhonda Vincent.
Oh, my buddy Rhonda, I'm so thrilled to... I've adored her forever, and we've gotten to be closer friends in the last few years. And, of course, I was so thrilled when she recorded our song Like I Could and did such a fabulous... her vocals just blew me away on that song. The Opry staff allowed me to invite Rhonda to become a member of the Opry.
I think that is fabulous, and I saw that video clip. I thought that was incredible. She is so fantastic.
Yes, she is.
I am always so uplifted when I have a conversation with Rhonda. I've had her on my show several times, and I just feel so good after I talk to her. She's so energetic and just so very passionate about her music.
She took over the Energizer Bunny from Jimmy Dickens.
I think you're right, yeah. And Jeannie, you wrote this one too, right?
I did. A funny story about that song. I was living at the farm in Hendersonville at the time, and I was driving down Interstate 65 on my way to the Opry for a matinee.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, that idea, the lyrics, the melody, everything was hitting me at once. And I'm like concentrating on don't forget this melody. And yes, those words that make so much sense. And I'm just, cramming it. And all of a sudden, that's it. I've got it. And I looked up and I was almost in Nashville. I had passed the Briley Parkway exit. I had to turn around and barely made it back to the Opry in time to grab some paper, write down the words and the chord changes, and go on stage.
Oh my gosh.
So I said, that is the danger of being in Nashville, Tennessee, because you never know when some crazy songwriters on Interstate 65 not paying any attention to where they're going because they're writing a song. So,
Oh my gosh.
but I thought the song turned out pretty well, and I loved having her sing harmony with me. She's a great harmony singer too.
Absolutely. All Through Crying Over You is the name of the song. Beautiful, beautiful song. I love it so much. And Bobby Tomberlin, such a great songwriter and a singer. And I know you guys have collaborated and done some great stuff together. And the song on this album, if you could call it that, I noticed that Dottie West is a co-writer on this. You got to tell me the story behind this song.
Well, my adopted little brother Ron Harmon has a lot of Dottie's memorabilia and stuff, and he was going through some stuff and found these lyrics that she had started to the song, and the title line she had written out, and he took it to Bobby Tomberlin and Steve Warner to finish it because the idea just hit Ron so hard. And I know exactly when she was writing that because I've heard her say it to other people. I heard her say it to me when everything was coming down on Dottie. And I remember saying, "How are you doing, Dottie?" And she said, "I just go on living, if you can call it that." So I know that's exactly where that song idea came from. And I thought Bobby and Steve just finished telling that story so well, and I was so thrilled that they brought it to me. And Steve said, well, we just looked at each other when we finished it and said, there's nobody else should have this song, but Jeannie and Dottie would want that too. So I was so pleased. I love this song, and I deliberately, on a couple of lines, I deliberately channeled Dottie because I could just hear her saying these lines. And one of them is the line that says, another glass of wine, a few more jokes, and just a little chuckle. I try to laugh because that's exactly the way she would have said that line or the way she would have sung it. I feel about this song like I felt the night that I was so honored to sing Here Comes My Baby at the medallion ceremony at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
When she was inducted. I felt that night, I was standing backstage, and that's a daunting audience when you look out there, and all those people in the audience are Hall of Fame members and producers, and I felt a little wave of nerves, and then I thought, no, I'm getting to finish something that Dottie started. And had she lived, she would have made that walk into the Hall of Fame on her own. But the fact that she didn't get to, and I got to. It's like I felt like I got to finish something for Dottie, and that peace came over me and a confidence, and I just walked out like, I'm doing this for you, Dottie. And I feel you're here with me. So when I got to do this song, it was the same way. I thought I got to finish something else that she started, that needed to be a story that needed to be told.
That is a shining example of the strong bond of the country music family right there. I think that is beautiful.
Well, that's, country music family is based on the truth, as our songs are,
Amen.
so.
Amen. Well, let's take a little break and play these songs we just talked about for our audience. Folks, JeannieSeely.com is the website. The new album, An American Classic, you can pre-order it right now. It will be available August the 14th. And you can get your pre-order in right now, and you'll immediately get the duet with Willie Nelson. And as I said, you're going to hear some of these songs tonight for the first time, and we might just end up playing the whole album. I got a sneaking feeling we might just do that. So, Jeannie,
okay.
Jeannie, stay with me. Let's play some of these great songs. We're going to come back and talk to more from Jeannie Seely as we continue My Kind of Country. Here's some great music from an American classic on Curb Records.
There's not a dry eye in the house. We used to call a home. Oh, there's nothing left but memories, wood and stone.
And when I think of you, that's when I lose control. There's not a dry eye in the house. Since you've been gone,
you played your part to perfection. You always left me wanting more. Standing in the spotlight's reflection, you brought the house down when you walked out the door.
there's not a dry eye in the house. We used to call a home.
And there's nothing left but memories, wood and stone.
And when I think of you, that's when I lose control.
There's not a dry eye in the house since you've been gone. Of you,
And that's when I lose control.
there's not a dry eye in the house since you've been gone. time. But this time you've hurt me for the last time. I don't know just what I'm gonna do. I just know I'm all through crying over you. I'm all through crying over you. My eyes are dry and looking for someone new. Don't think that I don't love you, 'cause I do. But I'm all through crying over you. Every day I say that I'll forget you. You're trying to break my heart, but I won't let you. I don't know how much more you can put me through. I just know I'm all through crying over you. I'm all through crying over you. My eyes are dry and looking for someone new. Don't think that I don't love you, 'cause I do. But I'm all through crying over you. I'm all through crying over you. I get up every morning, have my coffee, gather my things, jump right in that same old traffic. Welcome to my routine. And then at work I hear a voice, "How you doing?" Someone asks. I just go on living, if you could call it that. 5 o'clock rolls around, I meet up with some friends. I try to smile, but all the while it's just pretend. Another glass of wine, a few more jokes, I try to laugh. I just go on living, if you could call it that. I'm just going through the emotions, half of me still with you. It's like I'm stranded just can't find her way back. I just go on living, if you could call it that.
All right, brand new music from Jeannie Seely, an American classic on Curb Records. JeannieSeely.com is the website, and we'll have that information on our Facebook page. Please go and pre-order this album, and it will be available everywhere on August 14th here in just a few days. So we're running this on Monday night. Friday is when the album comes out, so we're looking forward to that. Jeannie, you've got some other great guest artists on here, Sharon and Cheryl from the Whites.
Oh, yeah, my Opry sisters. I love the White family, and as I always say, I always wanted to be adopted into that family, because I said, can you imagine family get-togethers there when they all start singing? Somehow their harmonies sound better than most of our family reunion get-togethers. With the Whites and Buck and Ricky Skaggs, man, you know, the entire family is so talented. But yeah, this song that we did called So Far So Good is a song that I've carried around for about 7-8 years. It was written by Penn Pennington and Mitch Ballard. And, you know, it's hard to find good up-tempo songs, especially ones that have a real positive outlook. And that's what knocked me out about this song, too. Plus, of course, you know what a character I am for Western swing. I love Western swing.
Oh, yeah.
And so anyway, I finally got the opportunity to record this song. And also what we did when I asked the Whites to sing harmony, they, I love where you go from a unison line and then spread into harmony, and they're so good at that. So I asked them to do that on several lines there, because it's reminiscent of the old 40s swing music and the big band sound, you know. That's how they did so much there. So I love the work they did on it. I was so proud, and I just have to tell you, we had some fun girlfriend laughs that day.
Oh, I bet you did. I bet you did. I think that's fabulous. And Old Flames Can't Hold a Candle to You. You recorded this with Waylon Payne, and of course he's got famous parents in the business. And I had always thought that Dolly Parton had written this song, and I am wrong. She did not, but she certainly had a big hit with it. Old Flames Can't Hold a Candle to You.
Yeah, the story on this song, when I was opening on the fair dates for Willie Nelson back in the early 80s, Waylon's dad, Jody Payne, played guitar for Willie for like 35 years. And during that time, Jody recorded an album on his own. And he asked me to sing harmony with him, do a duet with him on this song for his album. And so I did, and several nights sang that on stage, looking across the microphone at Jody. So Waylon was scheduled on the Opry one night, and he called me. He said, would you do Old Flames with me on the Opry? So I said, I'd love to do that. So listening to the playback on the way home, I thought, you know what? Our voices actually sound pretty good together. And Don Kuzik, the producer on this, said, I want to do some different things where we've got different talking points, things that are interesting besides just the song. And I thought, well, this is a great talking point here of having done it with his dad. And also the fact that Sammy Smith is his mother, and Sammy and I have been friends. You know, we're friends for years, and I remember when Waylon was born. So I thought, well, this is just perfect to bring a new generation into, and he's such an incredibly talented young singer, songwriter, actor. So I love our cut on this.
You know, I really love how you tell these stories about these songs, Jeannie. I think this is such a heart touching project that you've done. In every single song, you've got so much thought put into it, and who you've got singing with you. And this, I mean, this has just got to be a like a full circle thing. I think this is such a beautiful album for you.
Well, thank you. We wanted to live up to an American classic, and that's what I tried to do. I was so thrilled when Don Kuzik approached me about doing this project because I knew Don, but I didn't know him well, and I just have such respect. He's a very highly respected historian and music professor at Belmont. And so when I asked him, I said, he said, your journey here. And I said, that my journey has been that interesting. He said, the path you have taken to where you are now is just unbelievable. It's just so unique and so different. So that was what he did, a little documentary. I think we have to do a little bit more work on that yet, but I'm anxious to see what Don plans to do with that. But I liked his approach of every song meaning something. He didn't rush me in. It's like rush in and put something together and throw it out there. We took our time with it. We worked on it a year.
Well, that's the nice thing too. You know, we live in such a world now where people will download one song here and there, and I still like the concept of an album the way that it always used to be. When you put it on, you listen to it from start to finish, and it kind of takes you on a musical journey. And that's the way I feel when I listen to this album. And I want to encourage my listeners, please get the album in its entirety because there is a lot of history here, and there's just a real great journey that you'll go on if you listen to this album in its entirety. So I hope that everyone kind of takes my advice there and get this whole entire project. You'll love it, folks. And Jeannie, this is an interesting song. I was very surprised to see you do a Paul McCartney song. Tell me a little bit about this one.
Well, there again, when Don Kuzik brought that to me, I'm like, I don't even see this fitting with me or into this concept at all. I'm like, why would we do this? And he said, why wouldn't we do this? And I couldn't think of a reason why not. And he said, it's just fun. And I think everybody will have fun with it. And of course, he said, we might even get some play on the dance charts. And I'm like, what are you talking? I didn't know we had dance music charts now. So, but anyway, when we talked about having fun and we wanted to invite Ray Stevens to be a part of the project, so we, and Ray is just always fun. So we invited Ray to do this song with us, and we did have such fun in the studio. Ray said, what do you want me to sing on? And I said, you're the musical genius. You'd sing wherever you think it's good to do. But I said, please do the line with the yodel, because my yodel's broke. So he did the line, but we had such fun, and my crazy friend Carolyn, she said, oh, that's my favorite so far because it is so fun. So we hope everybody will have fun with it.
Absolutely. Well, another fun song on here, co-written by a fun guy, Tim Atwood. And I know you and he have worked together a lot. You did the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree recently, and you did a Facebook live show. And I think Tim and Roxanne are some of the best people. And this song is so great. It's called "That's How I Roll."
Yeah, I love this song. Watching Tim do it on a lot of our shows and saw the audience reaction, and I wanted to do something up, kind of rocking, and so I took this to Don Kuzik, and he said, oh, absolutely, let's do that. And so anyway, we were talking about it being kind of a sassy little in-your-face type thing, and trying to decide who to ask to do that. And Roxanne, as a matter of fact, said, well, the only one that I know is as sassy as you is Lori Morgan. I'm like, oh, bingo, that's it. So I hung up and called Lori, and she said, yeah, I want to do it. I said, well, let me send it to you and see if you like it. And she said, I'll like it. Just tell me when we're going to do it. So we had a ball that day, too. And one of the fun things, just being smart alecky, at the end of the cut, she said, I'm just here to please the Queen. And I said, oh, please leave that on the record. And so they did. It was just, it's just to have fun and probably make people laugh, which is what we wanted to do.
I love
we
it.
need that laughter.
Vince Gill is also playing guitar on that one too, right?
Yeah, originally Don sent All Through Crying to him, because he said, I know Vince loves a shuffle. I think he'll love this song. So Vince said he tried it, but my voice is so low and our voicing didn't really fit. He said, she needs to put Rhonda on this one. I knew I was going to have Rhonda on something, but I wasn't sure what. But it was Vince's idea to put Rhonda on All Through Crying. So that's when Don said, well, Jeannie didn't like the guitar we put on the That's How I Roll. Said it wasn't rocking and rolling enough for her. So he said, what do you think about that? And Vince said, now I can do that. And boy, did he ever.
Boy, did he ever, yeah. That is great. Well, let's take another short break and play these songs that we just talked about from the new album American Classic, Curb Records. Folks, you can pre-order it at JeannieSeely.com right now. It will be available everywhere August the 14th. And we're going to come back and talk to Jeannie some more about these great songs. And by gosh, we're playing them all here on the show tonight. So My Kind of Country exclusive for you, folks. Stay with us.
Darling, since we met, I don't regret one single step we've made. We're taking it slow and we both know that's the way to make love stay. 'Cause people who rush in find it's a crush when it don't turn out like it should. So we'll stay where we are 'cause we like it so far. So far, so good. We both feel the passion inside, and our love is easy to see. Taking one step at a time, we'll know if it's meant to be. 'Cause people who rush in find it's a crush when it don't turn out like it should. So we'll stay where we are 'cause we like it so far. So far, so good. We both feel the passion inside, and our love is easy to see. Taking one step at a time, we'll know if it's meant to be. 'Cause people who rush in find it's a crush when it don't turn out like it should. So we'll stay where we are 'cause we like it so far. So far, so good.
Downtown tonight, I saw an old friend, someone who I used to take comfort from long before I met you.
caught a spark in his eye of forgotten desire. And with a word or a touch, I could have rekindled the fire. Old flames can't hold a candle to you. There ain't no one can light up the night like you do. Flickering embers of love, I've known 102. Oh, but old flames can't hold a candle to you. There are sometimes at night I think of old lovers I've known, and I remember how holding them helped me not feel so alone. And then I feel you beside me, and even their memories gone. Like stars in the night, lost in the sweet light of dawn. Oh, but old flames can't hold a candle to you. There ain't no one can light up the night like you do. Flickering embers of love, I've known 102. Oh, but old flames can't hold a candle to you. Old flames can't hold a candle to you. There's things I like about me, and a lot of things that I don't. And I know that I could change them all, but I also know I won't. I rode the tide, take it all in stride, but there's one thing you should know. That's who I am, that's what I do, and that's how I roll. That's who I am, that's what I do, and that's how I roll. I've got some rock and roll music down in this country soul. You may not understand me, but there's one thing you should know. That's who I am, that's what I do, that's how I roll. I do what I want when I want to, and I'm all that I need to be. When it comes right down to it, what you get is what you see. And sometimes I go off at the deep end, and I can get a little out of control, but that's who I am, that's what I do, that's how I roll. That's who I am, that's what I do, and that's how I roll. I got some rock and roll music down in my country soul. That's who I am, that's what I do, and that's how I roll. That's who I am, that's what I do, that's how I roll. I'm just here to please the Queen. Around tonight, hey, everybody's gonna dance around, everybody's gonna hit the ground, everybody's gonna dance around tonight. You can come on to my place if you want to. You can do anything you want to do. Everybody's gonna dance tonight. Around tonight.
Well, you can come on to my place if you want to. You can do anything that you want to do.
Everybody's gonna stomp their feet. Everybody's gonna feel the beat. Everybody's gonna dance around tonight. Everybody gonna dance tonight. Everybody gonna feel alright. Everybody gonna dance around tonight. Everybody's gonna jump and shout. Everybody's gonna sing it out. Everybody's gonna dance around tonight. You can come on to my place if you want to.
You can do anything that you want to do.
Everybody's gonna dance tonight. Everybody's gonna feel alright. Everybody's gonna dance around tonight. Everybody's gonna dance around tonight. Everybody's gonna feel alright tonight. Everybody's gonna
All right, that is brand new music from Jeannie Seely. What fun songs. I'll tell you what, this is a stellar album, Jeannie. And I have a little surprise for you tonight. I was very pleased to interview Bill Anderson a couple weeks ago. And you and you and no, it's all good. It's good. Well, you and he did a beautiful duet, and I want to come back and talk about the song, but I'm going to play it for you right now, and I want to play for folks what Bill had to say. So we're going to talk.
Great.
We're going to talk to Bill Anderson here for just a second and play this great song, and we'll come right back. Hang on. Jeannie Seely has got a brand new album coming out, and you have recorded a beautiful duet with her of When Two Worlds Collide. I did not know until I got this album that you co-wrote this with Roger Miller.
Yeah, one of my few co-written songs from early in my career. Roger and I wrote that one back in the early 60s, and of course he recorded it, and it's been recorded many times since. Jeannie had the idea of making it into a duet, and she asked me to do it with her, and I was honored. Jeannie's a dear friend and a wonderful singer, and this is a great album. She's really kind of outdone herself on this project, and I'm just proud to be a part of it.
from mine. Don't you see? We just couldn't be close, though we tried. We both reached for heavens, but ours weren't the same. That's what happens when two worlds collide. Your world was made up of things sweet and good. My world could never fit in. I wish it could. Two hearts lie in shambles, and oh, how they cry. That's what happens when two worlds collide. Was made up of things sweet and good. My world could never fit in. I wish it could. Two hearts lie in shambles, and oh, how they cry. That's what happens when two worlds collide. That's what happens when two worlds collide.
Well, you had me a little bit nervous there, Scott, of what Bill Anderson might have said. He's like a big brother to me at the Opry, and Bill and I have been friends for so many years, and, you know, we've lost so many of our friends. And I went in his dressing room one night at the Opry, and we chit-chatted a minute, and he said, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "Nothing. I just came in here because I still can." We had lost Jim Ed, Jack, and George Hamilton, and Jimmy C. Newman. And I just, I think losing so many of our peers, has brought Bill and me closer. But we share a lot of laughs, too. I don't know, he maybe told you this, that I just cracked up talking about the shutdown and everything that's happened to us recently. And he said, "I think the biggest waste of money I've spent this year is the $20 I spent for a monthly planner." So those are the kind of things Bill and I talk about. But yeah, when we do the Country Family Reunion road shows, whenever we do these concerts, Bill and I would always sing this song because it's one of my all-time favorite songs that he and Roger Miller wrote. And, of course, I was fortunate enough to be buddies with Roger, too. So, anyway, when we were working on the album, I said I would really like to do this song that we do all the time on the road. And people have asked us after the shows, "Do you have a recording of Jeannie and you and Bill doing this song?" And we both said no, So now we do. And I was so happy that he agreed to do it.
Oh, it turned out just beautiful. When Two Worlds Collide is just one of those, what I call an upper echelon of songs. There are certain songs in country music that just kind of they're just a little bit above everything else, and that's one of them. It's such a beautiful
Yes.
song, and I did not know until I had talked to Bill that he co-wrote the song. I knew Roger Miller did, but I wasn't aware that Bill was a co-writer on that.
Yeah. And did he tell you about when they were writing it
He,
and how they remembered it?
no, he didn't. Go ahead and tell me.
Well, he was telling me, I think they were in Texas doing a show and all, and they were traveling together in the car. And of course, back then we didn't have cell phones, didn't have little pocket recorders or anything. And he said they were writing the song, and it was like, how are we going to remember this? And he said we sang it all the way home in the car so that we wouldn't forget it.
Oh my gosh, that kind of goes back to your story of missing your exit, trying to get to the Opry, remembering a song, right?
That's right. Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, that's
But I'm
great.
so proud that Bill would be on the album with me too. That's one of my things I'm very proud of. I mean, 3 halls of fame. He doesn't have to do this, so it just means the world to me.
Well, I know you mean the world to him, as evidenced by what he had to say about your album and your song, and he is a also an American classic, no doubt about it. So it's very apropos that he is on this project with you.
I was so pleased on his last album that he did, just called Anderson.
Yeah.
Jeremy Tepper, my boss at Sirius XM, called me and he said, I want to do an hour-long special on Willie's Roadhouse with Bill Anderson in the studio, the Sirius XM studios downtown, in front of a live audience made up of Sirius XM subscribers. And he said, I want you to host the interview. I said, Jeremy, you do realize Bill Anderson is the best interviewer in our business, bar none. And you want me to interview him? And Jeremy said, yeah, I think it'll work. And I'm like, it's got to, But Bill is not only incredible interviewer, he knows how to be interviewed too, and that's a knack too that not everybody realizes. By the way, I want to compliment you. You are wonderful at interviewing people. You know what to ask and how to let us answer, and I admire your work so much, Scott.
Oh, thank you, Jeannie. I appreciate that. It's very easy when I've got someone like you to talk to. I feel like we just end up kind of having a conversation. I think that's wonderful,
That's the best interviews.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm enjoying every minute of this. And Jeannie, if just a few more songs that we haven't talked about, one of which being "Peaceful Waters." Tell me about that one.
Well, my producer, Don Cusick, brought that song to me, and here again, we were talking about choosing things that would be totally different from what people would expect maybe me to do. And it has a haunting thing about this. I mean, you listen to it. I mean, who thinks country music and bagpipes? But
Well, Glenn Campbell comes to mind.
well, that's true too. Yeah, but anyway, I loved this song. I thought the feeling of it was just haunting and stark, and to put yourself in that place and bring people into that mood. And if ever we needed a song about peaceful waters, I think it's right now.
Amen.
We didn't know when we recorded this that one day we would be in a pandemic where we would need to be thinking on this term.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So that's definitely one to listen very closely to, folks. No doubt about it.
And the voices, did you notice the voices on that are just amazing?
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, who are some of the singers and players on this project?
On this particular cut, I don't remember all of them. I know they're studio singers that Don works with quite often, and also one of them is his wife, Jackie, who was one of the original Sugar with Dave and Sugar.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, yeah, that was kind of fun, too.
Well, that's really fantastic.
Yeah, they did a great job.
And a lot of my listeners may not recognize this name, but a lot of my listeners will. He certainly was super popular back in the days of the Torch songs. Sammy Kahn, "Teach Me Tonight." What a beautiful song this is.
Well, Don said, I want to find an old pop song that nobody would expect you to be doing. And he said, but I think we can pull it off with you. And I said, I don't have to look, Don. There's a song that I have wanted to sing since I was 13, somewhere beside in my shower. And I said, this song is "Teach Me Tonight." And he had to think for a minute. And then all of a sudden he said, oh, wow, yes, you are dead on. This is exactly the kind of song I was looking for. And I have loved this song as long as I can remember. And this is one of my personal favorite cuts on the album.
Well, I could tell. It sounded like it fit you so well, and I wasn't surprised to hear you to do it. I've heard the song originally, and it really, to me, I thought it was a perfect fit for you.
Well, I love singing that kind of thing. You know, of course, I just turned 80, so everybody knows I was just a child through the 40s. But my mother listened to all the big band music and all of those singers that sang during that time, you know. And then as we moved into the 50s, people like Joe Stafford and, oh my goodness, can't think right now, but all of those pop singers from that era, of course, Patti Page. I learned, Rosemary Clooney, I learned from those female singers too. Early influence. In fact, one of the projects I want to do is a whole album of songs from the 40s and 50s like that.
Well, another song, and again, I guess probably the title of this really says a lot too for you with what we've talked about with these songs tonight. To Make a Dream Come True.
Well, this was another funny thing. Ray Stevens, of course, is good friends with Don Cusick, and there's a coffee clutch bunch of guys that I keep saying I'm going to crash at one of these mornings. Of course, they're like everybody. They can't meet right now. But Ray came into Don one day, and he said, Buddy Cal wrote a song. We just found it. You've got to record this with Jeannie Seely. And Don said, well, we're all through recording. He said, no, you don't understand. You've got to record this with Jeannie. And Don said, Ray, you don't understand. We've spent all the money Curb's going to let us spend. And Ray thought for a minute, and he said, well, I'm going to play it to Jeannie, and she likes it. I'm going to find out what key she'd sing it in. He said, I have my own studio, and I'll go in and I'll cut all the tracks and do it myself. So he did. He went in the studio.
Oh, no kidding.
He played all the instruments in his studio, recorded himself, and did all of the background vocals himself. And then he had me come in and do my vocal part, which was a thrill to me and also nerve-wracking because, I mean, Ray Stevens is a musical genius. There's no other word for it. He really is. He hears things that the rest of us just don't hear. And at one part, there was a line that I sang, and he was just kind of pausing, and he said, well, that'll probably work. And I said, no, Ray, that isn't what you're hearing. And I said, work with me. Tell me kind of what you can to help me get it, because I want it to be what you hear. And so he told me a few other things, and then he said, that's it. That's exactly. I was so thrilled. I can't even tell you, it it was just a pure joy to me to be able to follow his direction because I admire him so much. Then later, he didn't like the guitar part he put on, and he also wanted steel, so he brought Tommy White in. Tommy told me later, he said, I've never even dreamed of playing on steel guitar, what he had me play. But he said, it works great. It's so interesting. So, yeah, the whole concept of this was just great. It's a cute story song. And I do have to say that the very last line, I asked Buddy Count's permission. I said, please, can I say we were going to the Opry? And he said, oh, of course, that should have written it that way.
Of course,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh, my gosh. Well, kudos to Ray Stevens. He is also an American classic, too. So all these wonderful people that are on this album with you. I mean, it's the whole package. It just could not ring truer to the title.
Well, you know what's so interesting? I think with all of us, all of the people I'm talking about, most of us anyway, we've all reached the point where we could quit, but we all love what we do, and we still have these ideas. And what's so wonderful is that we can just do them now. And just like Ray Stevens didn't have to find a song for me, and certainly didn't have to use his studio and his time and talent to do it, but we're doing what we love to do.
There's no more wonderful thing than that. I think that is just the absolute best thing you could have said. How wonderful. Well, let's take one more break and play these fabulous songs that we just talked about from Jeannie's new album, An American Classic, available at JeannieSeely.com. You can pre-order it right now, and the whole album will be available August the 14th. And then we're going to come back and talk to Jeannie about two of her signature songs that she has re-recorded for this stellar project. So stay with us as we continue with Jeannie Seely right here on My Kind of Country.
On sleepless nights when times are darkest, Oh, let me lie down by peaceful waters when my soul cries out for rest. Dog named Jack, cruising through Dixie in an old Cadillac. Tennessee whiskey in a brown paper sack beneath the seat with an empty or two. They left Steel City in the month of June, sipping on the whiskey and howling at the moon. Said she might be back, but no time soon. Off to make a dream come true. Yeah, she was off to make a dream come true. Knoxville to Mobile, Memphis to Oak Ridge. They stopped to see Rock City and the Tallahatchie Bridge. A girl named Trixie and her dog named Jack, cruising through Dixie in that old Cadillac. A beat-up Gibson in the case in the back, gonna play the boys a song or two. Short frilly dresses and cowgirl boots, long blonde tresses, brown at the roots, singing while the cowboys whistle and hoot, trying to make that dream come true. Yeah, trying to make that dream come true. Huntsville to Nashville, looked around Guitar Town, found their way to the Bluebird Cafe, Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. singing at Tootsie's and sitting in the back was a guy named Ricky who said, what an act, whoa, I can make her dreams come true. She made him a record, she became a star. They got married and they all went far. No more whiskey in a sack or tips in a jar. All of her dreams came true. Yeah, all of her dreams came true. New York to LA, Chicago, Paris, and Rome. They bought a farm out in Leaper's Fork, and that's where they all call home. Now Trixie and Ricky and their dog named Jack are cruising to the Opry in their new Cadillac. Did you say I've got a lot to learn? Well, don't think I'm trying not to learn, since this is the perfect spot to learn. Teach me tonight, starting with the ABC of it, right down to the XYZ of it. Help me solve the mystery of it. Teach me tonight. The sky is a blackboard high above you. If a shooting star goes by, I'll use that star to write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing isn't very clear, my love. Should the teacher stand so near, my love? Graduation's almost here, my love. Teach me tonight. The sky is a blackboard high above you. If a shooting star goes by, I'll use that star to write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing isn't very clear, my love. Should the teacher stand so near, my love? Graduation's almost here, my love. Teach me tonight. Teach me tonight.
Boy, I'll tell you, one of the songs that really stood out to me on this album is Can I Sleep in Your Arms Tonight, Mister, of course, written by the great Hank Cochran.
Uh-huh. That, of course, was a hit for me back in the early 70s. And next to Don't Touch Me, it's probably the closest to a second signature song. And at first, I really didn't want to redo these two songs, but Don pointed out, marketing-wise, it was really important to pull the audience from back then in and remind people that was me, and also to kind of introduce newer people into what I had done in the past and pull it all together. So there again, that's probably why he's a music professor at Belmont, right?
Well, it's always good to have have some hits that people are familiar with on a project. And while we are talking about this, "Don't Touch Me," of course, your signature song, voted one of the top 100 best country songs ever. You won a Grammy in 1966 for this. What was it like revisiting this song and going back into the studio and recording it after all these years?
Well, of course, I have sung it night after night for so many years. And through those years, without even being conscious of it, I mean, the arrangement changed, from, I guess, from my perspective, from whatever band I was working with, to I've always been a proponent of staying as current as you possibly can. So I think we moved it each decade probably into that era. So the song has stayed the same, and yet it has evolved, if that makes any sense, to sounding current. So when we went in the studio, the musicians, of course, were kind of thinking the original one. So it took a little while to get a happy medium because of what they remembered in the beginning to how I do it now.
Well, I think it's a very interesting perspective when you hear an artist recut one of their older songs, because kind of like you kind of alluded to, you've lived with the song for so many years, and it's evolved, and it's become a part of you. And to hear you do it, it almost gives it a whole different meaning by hearing you do it now. And I'm curious to know, when you did it, did you do it in one take, or did you have to split it up a little bit?
Well, the original record was the first take we did, and I think we just did a couple of takes on this time around. Of course, we lowered the key, Scott, because and 50-something years later, and I apologize to everybody listening because I'm very hoarse now with not only the allergens that are going on right now with the heavy humidity and everything we've got going on in Nashville, but I've been talking all day today too. But no, I think my voice on the original one, I think when I listen to it now, I sounded about 12 years old. So my voice definitely has matured, but also it has stood the weathering of time, as most of us who have been here for a long time have, and I'm just grateful that it still works at all.
Well, it sounds beautiful. Your voice has matured so well, and it sounds absolutely just as beautiful, probably even more so now, because you've got so much more experience, and you can feel the soul. They call you Miss Country Soul for a reason. You can feel it when you sing.
Well, good. Well, I believe in trying to make people believe what you're saying. I think that's the whole purpose of what we do. We are interpreting a song that we choose a song we think that people can identify with, and in my mind, it's not what kind of a voice we have or anything. We are the vehicle to get that point across to people and make them feel that emotion.
Absolutely. I am just beyond words, and you have stayed so relevant in this country music business, Jeannie. And this album, your last album too, Written in Song, which we also did a feature on, you are just recording some of the greatest music of your career. And we give lip service to artists. They say, well, this is the best album you've ever done. Every new album that comes out, this is the best you've ever done. But I got to tell you, I can say it with a lot of sincerity. These last two projects you have done are just absolutely phenomenal, and I just can't thank you enough for sharing this beautiful music.
Well, you think, Scott, I finally figured out how to do it?
Well, that might be it. That might be it. Yeah.
I said years ago, I said it just, when nothing was happening for me, I said, I kind of feel like by the time I figured out how to do this, nobody would let me do it. So I started doing projects on my own, and I worked very hard on the ones I produced, and I think that it was through the attention that I got, and you certainly helped that brought me to these other people's attention. And to have a major label like Curb be interested in me at this point in my life and my career is just, I'm just beyond grateful for this. I know how blessed I am.
Well, it's well deserved, and it's evidenced by all these wonderful people that rallied to be with you on this project, and all the fans that you have and the listeners that we have that always request your music. And it's been a true honor for me to be able to present this tonight. And well, I can't think of a better way to end the show tonight with playing these two signature songs for Jeannie Seely from her new album, An American Classic on Curb Records. And beautiful, beautiful music. Can I Sleep in Your Arms Tonight, Mister? And I know the one that everybody's been waiting to hear tonight, Don't Touch Me. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you have always been so gracious about doing my show, and you've given me so much of your time tonight, and I want to thank you for it.
Well, thanks, God, and we'll get together as soon as this is all over and we can get together. We'll sure do it, okay? In the meantime, thank you again for letting me have access to tell all the fans how much I appreciate them, and that I hope they are staying safe and well, and I hope you do as well, Scott.
Thank you. We wish the same to you and Jean as well. We look forward to seeing you back on the Opry. And folks, again, please go to JeannieSeely.com. You can pre-order this new album, An American Classic, right now, and it will be available worldwide on August the 14th. You got to get this one, folks, and you've heard them all tonight on our show, and it's been a privilege to present them to you. Jeannie, we love you, and thank you so very much for being on My Kind of Country.
All right, thanks. Bye, Scott.
Can I sleep in your arms tonight, mister? It's so cold lying here all alone, and I have no hope to hold on you. I assure you I'll do you no wrong. Don't know why, but the one I love left me lonely and cold and so weak. And I just need 2 arms to hold me till I'm strong enough to get back on my feet. I haven't smiled since he left me, 'cause a smile somehow seems out of place, and I just need 2 lips to kiss me, then I can smile again and I can show my face. Can I sleep in your arms tonight, mister? It's so cold lying here all alone, night, mister. Your hand is like a torch each time you touch me. The look in your eye pulls me apart. Don't open the door to heaven if I can't come in. Don't touch me if you don't love me, sweetheart. Your kiss is like a drink when I'm thirsty. Oh, and I'm thirsty for you with all my heart. But don't love me, or then act as though we've never kissed. Don't touch me if you don't love me, sweetheart. Don't give me something, oh, that you might take away. To have you, oh, then lose you wouldn't be smart on my part. Don't open the door to heaven if I can't come in. Don't touch me if you don't love me, sweet.